Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, it's working correctly this time. Hey, UTN, how's it going, brah? Sounds good, I agree. UTN, you're all up to date on the news. Did you know that Tulsi Gabbard was a spy for Russia? Oh my God. That totally got me out of the fucking left field, man. I had no idea. I never saw that coming. I am uploading a video of Camilla Harris. You gonna try any edibles yet there, UTN? Not yet. Well, we'll have to work on that. Thanks very much for tuning in, everybody. My name is Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News. Tulsi Gabbard is a Russian agent. Did you know that? I wish I would have known that before before Mox News endorsed Tulsi Gabbard to be the Democratic nominee. Dumb, dumb, dumb. The Democrats are grabbing at straws, man. Think that's going to pass Congress? I mean, think that's going to pass the Senate? I don't think so. Hey, thanks very much for tuning in, everybody. My name is Mike. This is my YouTube page. If you're new to Mox News, there are well over 10,000 videos here on this one Mox News YouTube page, and there's multiple Mox News YouTube pages. And I've been publishing videos since, well, for 16 years on YouTube now, and it's like 65, 70,000 videos, you know. 800 million video views, something like that. So there's a lot to see here on this one YouTube page. So if you're new to Mox News, please be sure and take a good look around. That's all I'm saying. So I don't know if you guys want to talk about Tulsi Gabbard or not. I was hoping to talk about Tulsi Gabbard. See, I think that the reason that Hillary is talking about Tulsi Gabbard is because the only reason it makes the slightest amount of sense that Hillary Clinton is talking about Tulsi Gabbard is because Hillary sees Tulsi Gabbard as a threat to the presidential election. To her, you know, ideal goal of the outcome of this presidential election. She sees Tulsi as a threat, which I love, because you know, when you see the polls, right? You see the polls and you're like, oh, you know, they show everybody, and I mean, they got fucking Amy Klobuchar on there at 2%, and Louise Castro at 2%. They don't even show Tulsi Gabbard, you know, and you know why? Because they hate her. Because she is a threat. She's a threat to all of them, and just I'm so glad that Hillary's talking about her, because that reassures in the back of my mind, that reassures me that that Tulsi really does have something going on, and that she is somehow a threat to these fucking establishment elitist Democrats. Are you new here, Mrs. H? Are you new here? Are you new today? Is that the problem? Yeah, I'm a Democrat. That's a label I can't wait to attach right to my fucking forehead. Democrat. What are you, stupid? Have you never seen a Mox News show or video before? Give me a break. Because Tulsi, who has the balls to fucking volunteer to go to war in Iraq at the height of combat as a medic, is being called a Russian asset. Okay? Tulsi Gabbard has more patriotism in her little toe than if you took Hillary Clinton and all the other Democrats on the debate stage and combined them all together. Their patriotism will not come close to matching the patriotism in Tulsi Gabbard's little toe. That's the fucking facts. In case you're actually wondering why I'm so concerned about Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton. Anyways, and I just thought that it was really good. This gives us a chance to talk about Tulsi, and that's the whole thing. You know, the mainstream media has been doing everything it can to avoid talking about Tulsi Gabbard. And that's what's so wonderful about Hillary bringing her up, especially in the way that she did, because Tulsi Gabbard is a major, an active duty major in the Army Reserve, in the U.S. Army Reserve. She's a major. That's a very high-ranking position. Okay, and she goes and serves. She just took 2 weeks off the campaign trail to go and do her National Guard duty. Okay? And she went to Iraq. And she actually seems to care about the troops. You know, a lot of people like to say they care about the troops, and then they can't wait to ship them off to Saudi Arabia or some other fuckhole, shithole country like Saudi Arabia, fucking shithole country with shithole fucking leaders. They like to use our troops as political pawns. And this is something that has bothered me so much since 2001. To see the troops, like George W. Bush would not make a speech. He would not make a speech in front of any audience except for the troops, except for soldiers. And you know why? Because soldiers are told not to fucking boo. Soldiers are told not to say anything about 9/11 truth. Okay, that was George Bush's problem, was he was afraid of you. He was afraid of the public. And that's the way it should be, okay? People shouldn't be afraid of their governments. Governments should fear their people. That's what the American people must take back, okay? It's our government, and if we want to throw everybody the fuck out of it, we will, including the entire goddamn Pentagon, okay? Because it's our government. We sign the checks. We pay the bills. They answer to us. And we're tired of it because we deserve better. Okay? We deserve somebody who's willing to put their life on the line for our troops. Do you think Donald Trump is willing to put his fucking life on the line? I seriously doubt it. For anyone, anytime, ever. Okay? We need somebody with that kind of fucking chutzpah. Tulsi Gabbard is that person. Tulsi Gabbard will decimate Donald Trump in a debate. In a one-on-one debate, Tulsi Gabbard will simply wipe the floor with Donald Trump's greasy fucking hair. And that's all there is to it. Tulsi will not like me, is that right? I don't give a fuck. I could care less. What I care about is what she's talking about, which is important. I don't care who anybody likes me. You think I come out here and talk like this because I'm trying to make friends with you people? You think I have a long beard and long hair and I haven't had a haircut for fucking 22 years because I'm worried about making friends? I don't give a fuck who likes me. Not in the slightest. Okay? Because I don't have time for it. I'm gonna go pander to those people so they like me. What's wrong with you? By the way, Tulsi would love me. She would be pulling on my beard within seconds of meeting me. I guarantee it. So you know. Ooh, I'm gonna have a bong hit. Anybody else want to join me in a bong hit? But and it's so weird that people are so threatened by Tulsi, and like Hillary Clinton. This obviously shows that Tulsi Gabbard has something going on and is actually a threat to the outcome of the presidential election, right? So, and I really hope that is that Tulsi Gabbard and Andrew Yang step out of the fucking Democratic field and fucking join the Green Party and become the nominees of the Green Party. And then they can fucking take Donald Trump voters and they can take fucking Democrat voters and they can take all the fucking anti-war voters and we can actually have people up there in the White House who genuinely care about the little guy. Okay? Andrew Yang wants to give us all $1,000 a month so that we don't have to feel the fucking never-ending fucking boot of capitalism saying how are we gonna fucking make it next month. He wants to lift that boot off your throat. Tulsi Gabbard wants to bring the troops home so that we can stop spending trillions and trillions of dollars on bullshit wars based on lies. I can't imagine a better combination. They'll have a fucking infrastructure project working in the first fucking year. Okay? And I bet it's way over $1 trillion. You know, if Donald Trump fucking gave a shit about anybody, he'd have a goddamn infrastructure project going. How many times did he tell us how our airports are laughable compared to fucking China? And what's he doing about it? Ooh, he's building a wall. Ooh, yeah, right. That ain't happening. There is no wall. He's taking down old wall and then rebuilding that wall that was already there. That's what Donald Trump is doing. And what we need is an actual, genuine infrastructure project. We need a $10 trillion infrastructure project. If they can go and spend $10 trillion on fucking bullshit wars based on fucking bullshit lies, then they can spend $10 trillion on infrastructure that every single one of us is going to use every single day for fucking generations to come. Can't you? Doesn't that make sense? What's the fucking holdup, Trump? Huh? What's the fucking holdup? I'd like to know. Anybody? Anybody? We deserve better. This is all I'm saying. That's hot. Hot. Gone to war when her country asked her to. When her country acted like there was a need for her to go to war, she stepped up and did that. Something Donald Trump fucking went to the doctor and got a doctor's excuse so that he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to fucking put his life into harm's way for his country when his country called on him. That's what Tulsi's done that Donald Trump hasn't done. You stupid fuck. Iraq war was a lie. Vietnam was a lie. Korea was a lie. Afghanistan is a lie. World War II was a lie. It's all fucking lies. This is what I keep telling you. The Democrats and the Republicans are working together, hand in hand, to bring us where we are now. They're the ones who got us into all these fucking wars based on lies, and they're the ones who kept us there all this time for the sole purpose of making rich people more fucking rich. Okay? And it's pretty obvious, right? And Tulsi's going to end that. And I know Tulsi's a Democrat. You say, oh, Democrats and Republicans, let us hear. I know she's a Democrat. Okay, but in order to get elected in this country, you have to be either a Republican or a Democrat. Those are the two choices. That's all they give us. But if you look at the Democrats, if you take the Democrats' word for it, Tulsi Gabbard is no Democrat. Okay, and this is what I keep saying, you know, and I posted that video a year ago. Okay, it was titled Tulsi Gabbard is not a real Democrat. And I said, so it begins. Okay. Quotes, Tulsi Gabbard is not a real Democrat, end quote, and it begins. Okay. I posted that a year ago because I saw this coming. This is who these people are. They hate you. Okay, and I'm talking that this Tulsi Gabbard's not a real Democrat. That was fucking bullshit, fucking MSN spokesman, ex-CIA spook, saying Tulsi Gabbard not a real. Okay, just like they say Ron Paul is not a real Republican. Fuck yes, that's the guy we want. You have to choose one side or the other because that's the only choices. So, yeah, I guess Ron Paul has to choose to be a Republican because whatever, abortion, blah, blah, blah. Ron Paul, better politician than anybody. You know, Tulsi Gabbard, better politician than anybody. Hello, caller.
Hello, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I saw here I just got home from work and I saw Tulsi Gabbard, a Russian spy. So, yeah, I don't think she's a Russian spy. I think she's a patriot from what I can see, but I don't know enough.
Well,
so, yeah.
Did you see Hillary call her a Russian spy?
No, sir, I didn't, but I understand what's behind that, sir.
Okay.
I don't. Okay, let me I don't want to do a whole lot of background, but I'm saying they've been doing this for 3 years, haven't they? About 3 years. I know Hillary started that with Mr. Trump, with President Trump.
Right.
Because they don't want people to. They don't want to provide any programs. They don't want to do anything for people. They want to turn us into, like I work now in a call center. I make $12.75. They would rather pay me. They've tried to pay me $4.98 if they could.
Yeah.
So they want to pay me as little as they can, do as little for me, and then blame it on everybody else. Which you already understand. That I don't have to tell you.
Right.
You know.
They want to blame it.
So
They want to wait. They want to keep us in these endless wars so that
absolutely.
We spend all our money on that. And then when we need something like infrastructure or health care for people, they go, we don't have, we're in war. We don't have money for that. You know, that's exactly the purpose of war, and making the rich people more rich.
Oh, without a doubt. And what I'm seeing going on, sir, and here's what I want to say. I don't want to interrupt you. I know you got a show. I enjoy your YouTube channel.
What's your name?
I mean, no disrespect. My name's Tony.
Hey, Tony, it's good to hear from you, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I want to say is I don't know what's going on in Syria, okay? But it looks like that we just got our ass handed to us, which is good, which was great news. We got our ass handed to us. So that's good. Looks to me like that. I don't know exactly what's going on. You tell me. You probably know more.
Well, doesn't it look like that? Doesn't it look like
the Syrian people have won? I hope they have.
Doesn't it look?
That's their own country.
Doesn't it look like that's what happened in Afghanistan and in Iraq also?
Yeah, but I mean, it's just awful what happened. The millions of people died. I have no idea how many people died.
Million people died in Iraq. Yeah.
And you try to tell people and they don't care.
It's hard. They've been desensitized to violence. Okay, for one thing, but it's really hard to care, because if you care, then you have to, like, it hurts. You know what I mean? So I mean, otherwise you don't really genuinely care. So it's easier. It's just a lot easier not to care.
Exactly. And it's a damn shame. But let me just say this. I want to get your opinion, sir, because I am just a working guy. All right. I have a college education. I finished college in 1985. I'll be 60 next year. I just turned 59. Well, I don't know everything, but I have good sense about people. The thing about Miss Gabbard, she's a beautiful woman. Okay. I mean, that's just and she's served. She's intelligent. She says the right things about things.
Well, she's talking about important. She's talking about important stuff that the other people are not talking, and all the rest of them aren't talking about it, though. That's the point.
I'm not qualified to say that, but I'm just saying that she is from the U.S. military. So I'm sorry that I don't trust any of them.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't trust any of them because she was in the U.S. military.
Yeah, she's still in the military. She's still in the military.
Oh, she is? Yes, sir. But what I want to say, and if I'm talking over anybody, I apologize.
It's all good.
So what I'm going to say is that when my kids were going to there, and my kids were in school, and they graduated in 2008, when 2001 and 2002, I told them I didn't want them going in there. I didn't want them to go over and kill people over there.
Right.
I told him, if you go over there, I'm going to disown you. I don't want you over there.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be a part of that bloodbath. And she went over there. So I don't know how anybody couldn't see that we should be over there. We have no business to be there. Maybe in 1965, people shouldn't know any better. But by now, if you don't know better, you're delusional.
She went over there as a medic. Okay. To help people. She went there as a medic at the height of combat in the Iraq War in 2005, 2006. She was there, which means she was knee deep in blood the entire time. And it was our soldiers' blood primarily. She went there specifically. She said she volunteered to go there. She did not have to go. She volunteered to go there specifically to help our brothers and sisters that were over there, and you say that you should know better, but you remember when George Bush was in office, it was like the Great Recession and the Great Depression, and there was no jobs anywhere. So if you don't have an option as to what you can do other than work at McDonald's, or not even be able to work at McDonald's, you know, and the Army's going to train you, and you're going to get college, and you're going to travel, and you're going to get, you know, they're going to feed you, and they're you know, and you're going to be doing the right thing by your country.
But I don't think that's true of Miss Gabbard. I think she comes from an affluent family. She's from an Indian family. Her family's aristocrat.
Again, she went there. And how many affluent families people volunteer to go to something like that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And if you listen to her, she did it out of pure patriotism, man. Okay. She was there to support our brothers and sisters. Okay. And most of the medics don't even wear a gun. You understand that, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, she's not there to do anything but to try and help some people who desperately need it.
Right. But, okay, as an outsider, sir, and you obviously know a lot more about this than me, okay? So I want to make another comment, okay? I want to talk to you about this. Okay. To me, Mr. Trump, I'm not going to vote for him again. I voted for him before. And the reason I voted for him is because I thought that Hillary was a maniac.
Yep.
And at least he acted like he was going to do something to stop the war, and he was for peace. He acted like, because I see no sense, and how are we going to start we can't even win a war against Syria. How are we going to win a war against Russia? It doesn't make any sense.
We can't.
These people are totally maniacal. So then he gets in there, and it looked like they come down on him like, I don't know. They just come down on him hard.
You say, okay.
So I don't know how anybody's going to do anything, sir.
How
anybody's going to do it?
But he's just not a decent human being, and like you said, the reason you voted for him was because Hillary. No one likes fucking Hillary. Hillary's not a decent human being. Hillary's a vampire who feeds off the fucking blood of every drop of our soldiers' blood spilled in the goddamn desert. That's what she feeds her children from. You know? So it's obvious that you fucking would want to choose someone other than that. She's been there for 40 years, and she's exactly what I said. The Republicans and the Democrats led us to where we're at here. She's totally responsible for where we're fucking at, you know? And Trump wasn't. You couldn't say, although I keep saying it's the rich people, because he said, I own senators, I own congressmen. You know, he said he has them bought and paid for. During the election, he said this. Because they're all for sale. And so, you know, but, you know, you say we can't even win people at Syria. You know, we can't even beat Syria. You know, the facts are we've been at war against people in caves and mud huts in Afghanistan for 19 fucking years. Caves and fucking mud huts. We can't, the fucking mighty superpower of the earth can't beat fucking guys running around on Honda 250 motorcycles living in caves and mud huts. Okay? Your fucking war bullshit, America ooh-rah crap is just a giant fucking lie. Okay? We can't beat anybody. He's absolutely, we can't beat Russia. We can't beat anybody. Okay? It's just not feasible. It's this thing that you see in the movies, but it's not a reality. You don't beat someone. We didn't beat the Japs. The Japs surrendered. They still own everything in Japan. You know, when you beat somebody, you wipe them the fuck off the map, and then you own that fucking territory. That doesn't happen.
Well, we did to the indigenous people that lived on this area.
Yeah, exactly. That was a war where we fucking won. We wiped those motherfuckers out.
Yeah.
So you're a very smart guy. So if you're not going to vote for Trump, who looks good then?
Well, I would just say this: that I'm registered in my state. I live in West Virginia, so I was registered with the Mountain Party. So yeah, I would consider changing my party affiliation. I don't know the rules here, but I would vote for Tulsi right now. That's who I'd vote for out of everybody.
The Mountain Party? I never heard of the Mountain Party.
Yeah, well, that's a party here. We don't have a Green Party here, so I voted for them. But I didn't vote for them when, because I don't think, I mean, this shows my level of myself. I didn't vote in the primaries because when it came out here, Bernie was here and Trump had already won, so I didn't vote. So that's the last time I voted was in November of 2016.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was considering changing my affiliation to Democrat to vote for Gabbard because I don't see anybody else in there's worth a shit.
Well, if you,
I like Bernie,
I think if you,
Bernie, but I don't really know.
I think if you register as an independent, you can still vote for Gabbard. And it's different in different states. You should look. That way, you don't got to label yourself with a big old giant D.
Yeah, because I don't know. They become the party. They become the CIA party.
It's all they're the same, dude. They're just talking to different suckers. Okay, that's what the facts are. Because I keep saying, right? Which one of them is it again that fights for freedom? Because that's the one that I support, right? And it's neither of them fight for freedom. And if neither of them fight for freedom in the land of the free, then in my eyes, they are exactly the same.
I agree.
Yeah. So
I agree.
Yeah. I think we need to banish them from ever participating, Republicans and Democrats. No more, you can't participate. There's just no more Republican politicians, no more Democrat politicians, and we'll create like 6 new parties, like the Freedom Party or something, you know?
Well, how's it going to end up, sir? If they're how is this going? To me, sir, what I see going on is we're the world reserve currency, and we're spending all this money, and all of a sudden, you know, like people, their transactions not going to work. Like General Electric, their pension plans aren't paying.
Yeah, right.
People, it's going to be. These things are not going to. These people are going to decide: should we pay these pensions or make more bombs that don't work? You know, when Russia makes us, that's what Mr. Putin said about us. And I'm not saying Putin's a good guy. I heard he put Jehovah's Witnesses in prison in his country. That's bullshit.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
agree.
saying that he's a saint, but I'm saying that he builds good weapons. And if he tells some piece of shit like Saudi Arabia what he wants to do, he does it. He's not like us that is a traitor to what they do.
Yeah.
You know, from what I can see. So I don't see us doing that. I see us making up bullshit and just spreading terror just to make money.
It sure seems like it to me too. I hate our current government, dude. I want the vast majority of all to go to jail. You know, if they're voting to keep us, if they vote to keep us in war, you know, by funding the military mission in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Syria, if they vote for that and then they make money off of war profiteering directly from, you know, keeping our people in theater, those people belong in prison, you know?
Absolutely.
In order to make the world a safer place for fucking children, because they believe it's okay to put our troops into harm's way. And if our troops are in harm's way, that means every little kid anywhere in the near vicinity is in harm's way too.
Okay, well, I'm glad you educated me about Miss Gabbard.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Now, what about her feeling about what what Modi is doing and over all that mess over there? Is she one of those does she have what is her affiliation with those folks over there?
I don't know. I keep seeing people talking about her in India, and I don't think there's a whole lot of affiliation. I think she's just trying to be, you know, like, well, she has a Hindi ancestry.
Okay.
And
okay, because that's some scary stuff over there.
And I think she's just trying to keep, you know, be diplomatic, be a statesman, you know, be an international type statesman, really. What I see with her relationship with Modi and India, that's all I see is her trying to be diplomatic.
I see. But how can she do it? What can happen with the fact that she's up there and they have all those people. And I will tell you, sir, I haven't even watched any of the Democratic debates. I was just about where I wouldn't vote. So at least you might inspire me to vote and not just give up.
If
So, yeah,
you know what,
that's the way I'm feeling.
You don't have to vote, but just don't ever give up, man. These people, I mean, what really matters is stuff like this, where we're moving beyond, the control of the powers that be, and we're, reaching out and talking with each other. Okay, this is going to get bigger and bigger, and hopefully, the world will hear our voices and understand that we want to all come together and make a better future for everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They have to get along. So I don't get this. The Iranian, that's the Iranians' people if they don't like their government. That's not our job.
Well, I don't like our government. I don't like our government either. That's what I'm saying.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So yeah. I completely understand the Iranians not liking our government. And you know what? I think the Iranian people probably don't care much for their own government either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's just a pretense. It's all a pretense. Because all they want to do is they want us to work as hard as we can and pay us as little money. That's all they're interested in, really.
They want us overworked and underpaid and just barely scraping by, so that we don't have resources to speak out. We don't have resources to stand up. We don't have the resources to call them out. We don't have the resources to make something happen that's without their help, without their controlling hand, fist, whatever. They just like I said earlier, they want to hold us down in this oppressed way, and that's why we have to strip these labels of Democrat and Republican and conservative and liberal and all this stuff, because it's bullshit. And you're so much more than a Republican or a Democrat or a liberal, or it doesn't even begin to even describe you in the tiniest little bit. And yet somehow we've been convinced that we have to slap these labels on our fucking forehead and wear it like a badge of honor, or a big old chip on our shoulder telling somebody to knock it off, go ahead, see what happens, knock that fucking chip off. And it's completely meaningless, and none of those people represent you or I, and that's why I'm here speaking out and trying to help those whose eyes have little sand in them see the truth.
Okay.
All right,
well,
so I really appreciate calling, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I hope that you'll tune in again. We're going to do this every day, Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific. So I hope you'll tune in again and give us a ring back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right,
Thank you.
You don't want to say anything else?
Yeah, it's the fight goes on forever. It's never going to stop.
We just have to
give up. Keep going.
Yeah, we just have to keep up the good fight, man. We just have to keep moving forward. We have to keep the faith. Don't let them don't give up. Just like you said, I'm not going to give up. Don't give up. Don't give up, because you give up, and that means they win. All right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks for calling. Hello, caller.
Ding dong.
I knew it was going to be him. I didn't know if it was going to be this phone call or the next one, but I knew he was calling. He only says it once and then he hangs up, so I don't have to respond to him at all. But I knew he was going to call. I saw him in the chat room. Okay, so hey Dwayne, good to see ya. Wilco, you guys, it's always better when you guys are here. And everybody else, thanks so much for tuning in. This is my YouTube page, Mox News. My name is Mike. You don't have to call me sir. You know, you can call me whatever you want. I've been called a lot of things. You know, we're doing this because what we're finding in the YouTube videos is that people are being censored by YouTube more and more. And I think part of the idea behind YouTube censoring people's comments is to just get them tired of making a comment and then it's not there. So you make this comment, you know, you spend 5 minutes, you know, typing out a fucking brilliant fucking paragraph and to say what you think about this thing that you're finding important at the moment, at least important enough to watch it and then want to talk about it. And you write out this brilliant thing and you post it and then it's not there. And you go, what the fuck? You know, goddamn Mox News, fucking dickhead, you know. But you can see, I don't censor people. I don't censor the Bing Bong guy, do I? You know, I don't censor people. That's not what I'm about. I think it's better to have everybody, you know, expressing themselves the way they want. The more of that, the better. But I think with YouTube and them doing this censorship of comments, right? They keep just deleting people's comments. Like I'll get a video posted and I'll come back, you know, in 15 minutes or a half hour and it'll say it has 20 comments. And I'll go to look at the comments and there's only 4 of them that you can see. And that's because YouTube is censoring. And I think that the more they do this to people, especially when you write out this brilliant fucking paragraph to respond, you know, and to show the world, you know, that you want to have this discussion in this way, and and then it's not there, and you go, fuck, fuckity, fuck, and you go, fucking Mox News, goddamn Mox News, but that's not it. It's YouTube. And then you go, fuck it, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to fucking spend 5 minutes writing out my comment and then it's not there. What that's what a stupid person spends their time doing. So I really apologize that YouTube is being that way. Understand that is not who I am or who I've been the entire time I've been on YouTube. Those of you who've been around know this. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hello.
How do I sound?
You sound awesome.
Good. Good.
What's your name?
I don't know much about your subject tonight, so is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
Did you hear Hillary call Tulsi Gabbard a Russian agent? Did you see that?
Why is Hillary so relevant?
Hillary is not relevant, but she wields power. You know, she wields a certain level of respect, especially in the media, because of her her previous. Because she was the first lady of the United States, man, and a senator. You know, you see how they drag these senators on TV forever.
Yeah.
I mean, they have.
We need term limits.
What's that?
Well, that just brings me up to term limit.
Go ahead.
Term limits for Congress, and you know, how do you feel about that?
Well, I think that I don't think that politician is a career. You know what I mean? I don't think it's intended to be a career. I think it's meant to be like a service, and that and that you should go there and, you know, do your duty, like you said, and then get out of it. It's not something that you do as a career your whole life long. That seems really sick and twisted to me. So I agree with what you're saying on a lot of different ways, for sure.
Oh yeah, it should definitely be like a random jury call type thing, and if you want to do it, then do it, and if not, then pass it on.
Well, that's an interesting idea. I kind of like that idea.
Yeah.
Where are you calling from?
Central California.
Oh, how's the weather there?
It's California.
Nice. It's raining here at Seattle. It's raining here.
It was 80 degrees today, maybe 75.
Wow.
Sunny.
Sounds perfect.
Well, they shut our power off for 5 days.
Oh, did you get
Not my
affected
fault.
by that?
No, I didn't. I was right in the center. So this is hold my beer again. I called the other day.
Hey, Beer, how are you?
I'm pretty good. Pretty good.
Right on. Well, it's always good to hear from you. I don't see you in the comments very much.
Yeah, sometimes I miss the show. You know, I'm out busy doing things, trying to make some money.
Yeah, no, I mean on any of the videos or anything. I don't really see you in the comments. But, I mean, it's cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, I don't like feeding the souls too much sometimes. I like trolling people more than I do now.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
I get a little older, you know.
I just always think people must have better stuff to do than that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
Do you watch South Park?
You know, I haven't seen a Pascal South Park in probably 15 years.
The last couple seasons have been great, man. Telling you.
Yeah, I tried to play the other day. It's the animation show by MTV. It's Mike Judge and Dawn Hertzfield.
Huh.
And it's got the little popcorns, and like one won't put shit in, and he like keeps shitting blood. He's like, "Why won't I put shit in?" And it's fucking hilarious. It's a 2 DVD disc.
Oh, okay.
I highly recommend it. But
right on.
It won't play on. Yeah, it won't play on my Xbox or my computer, so I'm kind of pissed off about that.
I hate it when that happens.
It's so old. It's got like a copyright protection on it or something. I highly recommend it though.
Right on. Well, I've enjoyed a lot of Mike Judge's work.
Yeah. So, it's just a whole collection of their voices of animators and stuff like that.
Cool.
I don't know if you have any more callers. You want to talk about politics?
Are you what kind of beer are you drinking?
Did I say I was drinking beer? Pale ale from Sierra Nevada.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I grew up in Chico. So.
Yeah. It comes in a pretty bottle.
Yeah, well, I lived around the brewery my whole life, so.
Right on. Well, okay, Beer, it's good to hear from you. Thanks a bunch for calling, man.
All right. Sorry if I made a boring conversation.
It's all good, bro. I hope we hear back from you again soon.
All right.
All right. Stay cool. All right. So, what are we talking about now? Oh, right. I got to plant some more plants, right? Because, damn it, it's getting almost too late to grow Christmas trees. And I wanted to grow some Christmas trees so we could have live Christmas trees for the background of our call-in show, grown by me. Where is that coming from? So if anybody wants to help out with helping me grow some Christmas trees, I need to buy some dirt. You need to turn down your computer so that it doesn't echo in the phone, caller. How are you, caller?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. Who is this?
My name is Michael. I'm calling from California. I think you're in California also.
I am in Seattle.
Oh, well. What do you think about Tulsi Gabbard? I think she's a great girl.
I think Tulsi's excellent. It's pretty obvious when you see people like the media. This whole Russia thing started with the media calling her out, the New York Times and fucking CNN contributors. And again, I've seen him a year ago. I posted the first video of someone saying Tulsi Gabbard's not a real Democrat. A fucking year ago, I knew this was going to happen because they used to say that exact same thing about Ron Paul. Ron Paul's not a real Republican. And for some reason, if they're not a real Republican or not a real Democrat, then you don't have to treat them like a fucking human being.
How many Hare Krishnas have you known in your life? Tulsi Gabbard's a Hare Krishna, or a Vedic is a more accurate term. And I think most people are underestimating the Vedic influence on her personality, her foreign policy, and her world outlook. And I think she's the real deal, and she's in a totally different league than Ron Paul or Bernie Sanders. I think she's far above them in terms of cognition and perception, and she's not a sellout at all.
I think she's there too, man. I think that, I mean, if you look at who she is, she's so consistent, you know. I think that I think she's the only one that can beat Donald Trump.
Yeah, you know, I voted for Trump just to keep Hillary out because Trump was a wild card, and boy, did he prove that one.
Yeah, for sure.
He proved that one. But, you know, I'm going to vote for her, even as a write-in, even though Trump would be, I don't know, you know, I guess I would vote for Bernie too, but I just really like her. She's a real authentic, genuine person. There's no bullshit. Plus, she's seen blood and guts, and you know, she's one in a million. These people come along so rare. Like Bernie Sanders, a total sellout. He sold out his constituency in 2016, and he should have walked out with all the people, but he didn't.
Yeah.
And he backed up the criminal, the one who got her ass kicked today. What's her name? Hillary?
Yeah. You know, he could have walked away with so many people. He probably could have started his own fucking new party.
Yeah, he should have. Abby Martin covered it perfectly, and I still remember, you know, details of white noise at the DNC convention trying to drown out all the protesters and stuff. And it was a total sellout. Total sellout.
Is Abby still doing news? Do you see her around?
Yeah, Abby's her program got canceled. Tell us, sir. Got canceled. She just put out a brand new movie on Palestine, which she's charging money for. I haven't seen it yet. And mostly what she's done for Telesur has been mini docs, which are in-depth 30-minute programs, all really substantial and in-depth. And she was all over Venezuela. She was all over Palestine.
Right on.
And she'll probably come out with something
I think
good real soon.
I think she's the real deal when it comes to journalists.
Oh, I met her. She's a great girl. She's you know, I haven't met Tulsi Gabbard, but Abby is the real deal, and she, you know, she'll cry. She'll cry right in front of you because she's got such a good heart, you know.
Well, sometimes it's just hard not to, you know.
Yeah, if you care,
yeah,
you got to be both sensitive and tough. You know, and Abby's both of those things, and all the real people are also.
Right on. Well, that's awesome. So, what do you think that? What do you think of Andrew Yang?
Don't know much about him. I heard some people talk good things about him. I think he's the guy that proposed the $1,000 giveaway. You know.
It's called universal basic income.
Yeah, okay. I could use an extra grand a month.
We all could. That's the point.
Well, that's the point. What do you think about him? You know about him. I don't. You tell me.
I think I don't know, honestly. I wish that I could find more in-depth interviews with him. Everything seems to be all the interviews I see, they just want to focus on this, you know, UBI thing, and he doesn't seem to get much beyond, you know, Amazon in the interviews that I see. And I'd really like to see something more in depth with him. But he seems to be, you know, an outsider, so he's not corrupted by the whole process. He's not one of them just yet, it doesn't seem like. And he doesn't look like one of them or talk like one of them.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, you know, still these people, they've been playing this game. The politicians and the CIA and the corporate interests are playing this game for so many decades longer than the internet has been around, that we have a lot of catching up to do. And then you've got the levels of stupidity and astroturfing, which is rampant amongst social media. So it's a brand new learning process, and the people that were involved in Occupy Wall Street have gotten beyond it. And every revolution that happens learns from the one before. And right now you got Ecuador and Venezuela and Catalonia and Hong Kong. And so, you know, we're putting the pressure on, but I'm not really as hopeful as most people are. All they got to do is crash the economy, and I'll just turn my generators on and cook on a fire, you know. So I'm ready, but I don't think most people are, nor will they even know what's going on. I don't think so.
Well, if they crash the economy, I mean, it kind of flips everything upside down to the point of almost being impossible to be prepared for it, you know. So, and you can't walk around thinking, you know, that's what's going to happen, that's what's going to happen, that's what's going to happen, because then you go crazy. You know, I mean, I've been hearing since 2011, man, the dollar's going to crash, dollar's going to crash, dollar's going to crash. You know,
yeah, me too.
And I mean, if that was what was in your head all day, every day since 2011, at this point, your mind would pretty much be mush.
Yeah, it's fear porn, and I don't buy into the fear porn. But at the same time, I am a prepper. I have prepared. I got my own little plot of land, and I try to help as many people as I can. And number one, of course, is educating yourself so you're not putting out false statistics or information. But it's a complex political situation. Trump is fighting the CIA right now. They're trying to impeach him. And if anybody still doesn't believe in the deep state, I got nothing to tell you, man. It's right in front of you, you know.
Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious that there's higher levels of government than the presidency. That's pretty obvious. So.
Yeah, but you know, as long as people continue to educate themselves, don't get swept up into too many groups and gangs and parties and
fuck the labels. Fuck the labels.
You're right, exactly. Fuck the labels.
Yeah.
And you know, just hang in there. Change has never come about quickly. Except for maybe in Honduras or someplace like that where you have a 2-week revolution, or Tunisia, they had a 2-week revolution. But
we could have a 2-week revolution, man. If everybody in this fucking country just sat on their hands for 2 weeks, you know, what are they going to do? They're going to fucking what is it you guys want? Just tell us what you want.
Yeah, look at all the Antifa people and all the Extinction Rebellion people and all the people that are just out in the streets doing nothing because they're bored and they think they're going to change the world by blocking traffic. You know, that's the stupidity on the left that also needs to be dealt with. So, I mean, I'm not confused, but it is a confusing time if you don't know what's going on. You know, Turkey, we'll see what happens there. I really don't know, but you know, there's an old Chinese curse. I think it goes, may you live in interesting times. And I think we are in interesting times.
Is that a curse? I didn't know that was a curse.
Yeah, it's a curse. Yeah.
Huh. I did not know. I thought that was some kind of a toast or something. You know, and that's what I kept saying about George W. Bush when George W. Bush was president. At least it's exciting. You know?
Yeah, you know, but I still haven't lost my shock and awe at 9/11 and the wars in the Middle East
And
all
hopefully
the
you never
tragedies.
will. Hopefully
Yeah,
you shouldn't. You shouldn't lose those things. You should not get over that.
I never will. It got me into action. It put me on my feet. It set me on a path that's going to be a lifelong path, you know. So
Yeah.
here I am talking to you.
Right on. Well, I'm glad that you are. It's good to have you on board, man.
You really going to grow Christmas trees, or are you talking about weed? You need soil for weed, or you need
Yeah, I need soil for weed, man. That's what they're going to look just like Christmas trees. I'll put Christmas bulbs on them and stuff.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, well,
Yes.
what do they call it? What's the stuff that I buy? I buy solid gold. I forget the name of that soil, but you truckload of that'll do you good.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, you don't grow weed much. You don't know what's the best soil.
I'm new. I have no idea.
Oh well, I'm an outdoor grower, so I just do one crop a year. You know.
Cool. Do you do?
Everybody else is an indoor grower, and they liquid gold, solid gold, I forget the name of it.
Black gold?
Black gold, right. Black gold, yeah.
Black gold. That's what you use, and it works good, huh?
Oh, yeah, you got to spend an extra $1,000 a year to revamp your soil. But I'm a farmer, so I got hundreds of plants and big giant root space, and I turn tons and tons of soil every year. But
wow,
it's not. It's humid up there. You said you're in Oregon somewhere?
I'm in Seattle.
Oh, you're in Seattle. It's even more humid in Seattle. Down here in Southern California, it's desert weather, so I don't have to worry about mold or rot or anything like that.
There was a guy from Vancouver last night who was saying that his plants are still in the ground up there in Vancouver right now. He says sometimes they're in the ground when the snow comes still.
Yeah, it's amazing. You can have a fully budded 10-foot tall plant, and if you only have 1.5 days of rain, it'll recover in another day. You know, And here, up in humid country, I don't really know, but in the desert, desert.
Yeah, once it gets wet here, it seems like nothing actually ever dries out again.
Well, I've never been there, but I've heard stories. So
it's a nice place, man. If you get a chance, you should visit.
Yeah, I'm down here by LA. I'm in a little city called Ojai. It's about an hour north of LA, and it's where all the movie stars and new age people live. You know, it's pretty mellow little town.
Sounds like it. Sounds like a good place to have a farm.
Yeah. Well, there's no freeways. There's just mountains and rivers and people, you know.
Awesome. Right on. Well, I appreciate you calling and helping us understand stuff, man.
Yeah, what's your name?
I'm Mike.
Okay, I'm Mike too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watch you. You're on my YouTube feed. So be well and keep up the good fight and speak the truth.
Right on. Well, we're going to do this every Monday through Friday. So if you're around, I hope you'll tune in.
Yeah, I'll call back sometime if you're doing a callback thing.
That'd be awesome. Thanks a lot.
All right, brother. Take care.
All right, stay cool. And again, this is we go from one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum. You know, you can hear it's coming from one end of the coast to the other end of the coast, north, south, west, and we all just get along here. There isn't this anger. There isn't this, I have this issue or that issue. Well, actually, there is. I have this issue, but at the same time, what we make happen is we hear each other, and you can see where this can be moving forward and making something bigger happen. So I hope that you guys do see that, and you see my commitment now. It's been 2 weeks that we've been doing this on regular Monday through Friday. 7 p.m. We got the time down to 7 p.m. I think 7 p.m. works. It looks like 7 p.m. works. It seems to work okay for me, although
take this call.
Hello, caller.
Mike, Drunk Pete.
Hey, Drunk Pete. How are you today?
I'm good. Yeah, I got a question for you.
Okay, let's hear it.
Remember you showed me those brownies the other day?
Yes.
So when you make the butter for those, right?
Uh-huh.
How much will you use, like an ounce, half ounce? And how much butter are you using?
I take my crock pot and I put 3 pounds of butter in it, and then I stuff it as full as I can get of weed.
Okay.
So it's probably about 6 ounces or 8 ounces of weed, something like that. I'd say a little over a quarter pound.
Oh, so you're going way bigger than I'll ever be able to do. Shit.
Well, how much are you using?
Well, see, I got like an ounce, and I got like this little device I was telling you about.
Yeah.
The magic butter machine.
Yeah.
And it recommends like a half ounce at most, and like 2 cups of butter or something like that.
2 cups of butter?
Yeah.
So that's 2 pounds, or that's a pound? That's a pound of butter?
I don't know what it translates to in pounds.
I think 2 cups. Let's see. I think 2 cups is a pound of butter. So I would try, if I was doing a pound, and you had decent buds, decent flowers, I would use a pound of an ounce of weed and a pound of butter.
Okay. I went with tinctures, Mike. I didn't think the brownies were going to be potent enough, so I went with tinctures.
So what do you use for a base for tinctures? Alcohol?
Yeah, exactly. Grain alcohol. This thing recommends grain alcohol, so I got 2 cups of grain alcohol and like about 11.5 grams in there. Some pretty good shit.
Grain alcohol. That's like Everclear.
Yeah, exactly. So it's Everclear, and it's in there at like 180 degrees for 8 hours.
Huh.
It's been going for about 6.
And have you done that before?
No, it's my first time trying it.
I never have success with tinctures. You'll have to call back and let me know if you have success or not, because if you do, I want to try that, because I would really like to have something I could just take a couple of drops of and get a little kick from. That would be awesome.
This machine's pretty cool, man. It just maintains the temp at 180. You don't gotta do shit, and it's got a little like propeller mixer in it. So like every couple minutes, like you can hear it going off, and it'll mix it up and keeps the temperature, 130 F. So I don't know. Hopefully it works. People seem pretty happy with it. Gets good reviews online. And what I can do is with this tincture, if I want to make like gummy bears or something, I can actually reduce this down. I can put it like on low heat, and then the alcohol evaporates off, and you'll get like that oil shit.
Oh, is that right?
Mix it in with some, yeah, that's what I've seen videos of people doing.
Oh, okay, that's yeah, I get you. I hear what you're saying. That's
so it evaporates the alcohol, and it becomes like a fucking maple syrup, and it gets like you get cannabis oil that way.
Yeah.
And then you can add the gummy bears and all that stuff.
Right. Huh. I've been thinking about how to make gummy bears. I think those would be fun to make sometime.
Tinctures, bro.
Well, like I said,
I highly recommend it. The magical butter machine.
Okay, I have 2 of them. I have 2 of them. Look, dude, I got 2 of them right back here. Okay, right there, magical butter machine. Okay.
Yeah, but look, what's great about this thing?
Can you see it, Matt? Can you see the boxes back there? Do you see what it says? Magical butter. Okay, I got it.
Oh, you actually do have it.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. All right.
Are you their spokesman or something?
Well, you were busting my balls yesterday. You're like, oh, I got one. It's called a stock pot or whatever it is.
Crock pot. Fucking crock pot. Anybody. All I'm saying is you don't need a fucking $100 device to make fucking butter. Okay, if you want to make brownies at home, anybody can do it. I've done it in a little fucking sauce pot before.
There's so much more risk of fucking it up that way. Like,
of course, I made it in a sauce pot one time on video, and over and over throughout the entire thing, I kept saying, if you burn the butter, you're not going to have a good time. So, you know, I mean, because, and you don't have that risk with your machine, but with a crock pot, you don't really have that risk either.
All right, true. Well, yeah, I guess, you know. I don't know. What do I know about fucking weed butter?
Well,
I'm new to all this shit,
see, the thing is that you can only put a half an ounce into your little thing. I go and put three.
No, you can put up to an ounce.
I put 3 pounds of butter in my crock pot, and then I have butter for the next, you know, 6 months or whatever.
So that was the other thing I wanted to ask you. How much butter do you put into a batch typically? And like what size batch are you working with when you do brownies?
I just follow the recipe on the box of the brownies, but like I said, I put you know, I put 3 pounds of butter
Like
in
a
the
half a pound?
It's what on the brownie, how much butter I put in the brownies?
Yeah, because usually they recommend like about a half pound or so or something like that.
It's usually a half a cup to 2/3 of a cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that works pretty well for you?
Yeah, but I make good butter, like I said. You know, I do 3
You know,
pounds.
like what size brownie do you have to eat? Do you have to eat like 3 big ass pieces to get some?
No, I try and eat. I eat like a smaller than a 1 by 1 inch square brownie.
Oh wow, so that's just pretty potent, huh?
It does. It's my medicine, man. It needs to work, dude. It's
Well,
important.
no, this is all new to me. That's why I'm asking you, because you sound like you know. So
Yeah, no,
I'm
this
trying
is.
to
I mean,
figure this shit out.
I every day, you know, this is how I keep moving forward. It's you just if you're new to it, the way to do it is just keep doing exactly what you're doing, which is experimenting and figuring it out. If you can get, you said it only holds a pound. Does it hold a pound of butter or not? You said it holds 2 pounds of butter.
Yeah, it has like a max up. Well, for tinctures, it recommends you can put like up to an ounce of tinctures and up to like in between like 2 or 4 cups of alcohol. And for butter, it recommends you can do like at max a half ounce. And what does it say here? I don't know, but you don't want to like overfill the machine or whatever, because it can get like you know.
No, you want to make it work the way it's supposed to work.
Yeah, up to a half ounce of flour and in between 2 to 5 cups of butter.
Yeah, that's I'd rather just make a big old batch of butter, but I do like the idea of making tinctures and other stuff like that. That seemed like a really good idea. I was thinking about pulling one of these out of the box and making. I have a fresh bottle of olive oil downstairs, and I thought I'd just throw a bottle of olive oil in there and make a batch of you know, infused olive oil. That seems like a good plan, because then I can cook with it.
Yeah, it's, let me see, what does it say here? Oh, that's quick too. You can do that in an hour. So
that's what I hear.
8 hours.
Yeah. Well, you know, you're trying to burn off probably a certain amount of alcohol if it's 190 proof. You know what I mean? You want to get a little bit of that sting out of there.
Well, couldn't you just take shots of it and fucking get a little drunk and get fucking stoned, right?
I suppose. I don't think that the two mix very well, honestly.
I like alcohol.
Yeah, I don't think the two mix very well, honestly. But I don't care.
Make tinctures with like I think I saw someone make tinctures with like oil too, like cannabis oil, but that's probably just like the oil you're talking about.
I don't know. But
I'm gonna try all this shit out and let you know.
I want to know. I want to know. I want to know about your tinctures for sure.
Yeah, alcohol, 8 hours.
Well, you said you haven't tried them yet.
No, I haven't. But here's the thing: based on, you know, the purity of this marijuana, so it's like 21%. Like an indica strain that's like 21%, and I had 11.5 grams in there, and I added just a little over 2 cups of alcohol. So, you know, assuming I get pure extraction, which I probably won't, you know, I'll probably get like 75 or whatever.
Yeah.
But assuming I get pure extraction, you know, to get like a 60 milligram dose, I only have to take like 7.5 milliliters of this shit.
It sounds like, see, that sounds very interesting. I would be, this is why I want to report back. That's what I'm saying.
All right. Well, it's going to be done tonight at around 1 o'clock in the morning. So.
Okay. Well, you can call us on Monday and tell us how your weekend went.
Oh, that's right. You're Monday to Friday on what, 7 now?
7, yeah. Does that
All
work?
right.
Does that work for you?
I'll let you know how it goes, bro.
All right. I've been looking forward to hearing from you.
All right, bro. Take care.
All right. See ya. Have a fun weekend. Again, it's just people talking and enjoying each other's company and touching bases and talking about things we have in common. It works very well. I think we have potential to make something really cool happen here. And I hope that you guys will support it and see the sincerity that I have in trying to make this into a reality. And that you would also like to participate in, in seeing some lovely flowers behind us. Although it looks like we're going to be moving to a lovely green screen behind us. But that doesn't mean we can't visit the flower shed. We can visit the flower shed anytime we want. And wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't you love to have a flower shed that you could visit anytime you wanted? The tent works too. Well, I prefer the tent to the green screen, honestly, too. But the green screen really looks cool. And people, I mean, I don't have any dirt yet, although I'm getting close. But I don't have any yet. I'm really hoping that we will hear from the nationwide hydro store that I am in negotiations with at this time to be a sponsor of the upcoming garden. But if I don't hear from them by the middle of next week and I get like 1 or 2 more donations, I will go and buy dirt and some pH down, regardless of whether or not they're going to sponsor us or not. Because all I need is a little bit of dirt. I need like $30 or $40 worth of dirt and $10 worth of pH down. And then I can grow, $500 worth of weed or whatever. So it seems like a worthy thing. Because I have everything else. I have fucking amazing genetics. I want to share. I want to grow beautiful flowers and have them here to share with you as part of what we do, as part of my expression of freedom. My expression of reaching out to the world and saying, this is who I am. I believe in freedom for everyone, and I want us all to come together freely and speak our minds and move together hand in hand to make happen a better future for all of us, because we deserve better, right? Don't you guys agree? I don't know. I don't think we could come up with a better catchphrase than that. We deserve better. That's the facts. And I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of these people who are these career politicians who go in there and they just keep, getting elected and getting elected. And then when they don't get elected, they move to a different state and they get elected there. Or they fucking, it's just so weird. I mean, it's just like there's nothing else that they can do besides, be a fake, charlatan of the people, I mean, I want these people to fight for our freedom. I really do. That's what better in my mind would be. People that were standing up to say, no more police state, no more, having the thumb on the citizens of this fucking land of the free, just, you know, we're going to stand in the way of all your police state bullshit. And you know, the thing is this Homeland Security, right? Since 9/11, they created the Department of Homeland Security, right? After 9/11. And what I see of the Department of Homeland Security is it seems like the sole purpose of it is to prepare local police departments around the country for martial law. That's why they all have these, you know, now they all have these stormtrooper outfits where they're all dressed in black, and they all have their cami outfits where they look like they're the military marching down the street with their armored vehicles and shit. Because that's what Homeland Security purpose, that's what they do. They go to your fucking local police department and they go, okay, you guys need these uniforms, and you need, this is the latest updated model of this, and you could probably use one of these and a whole bunch of this, and bayonets. And then they go, here, let us write you a grant for the whole amount, say $5 million. And you guys get all new uniforms, and you get new whatever, and you'll be updated. And you'll be the biggest, toughest, biggest bully there ever was on the block. And that makes you so much more, you know, meaningful, you know, caring, you know, part of the community. And I don't see their purpose. I don't see them doing anything else. So that's the country that we live in, and we have to take it back. You know, we deserve better than shit like that. You don't make a whole fucking department in the land of the free just to fucking lock down all your citizens 10 times more than they were before yesterday. I don't know. You guys think we're locked down 10 times more than we were before 9/11? People seem to feel like, you know, it's like this thing we were talking about yesterday with the cop haircuts. Everybody has cop haircuts now, right? And that's because we're in this lockdown. We're in this police state. We're in this, you know, if you're going to be in the lineup, you all got to have the same haircuts. That way nobody can tell anybody from anybody else. You know, the cops can't go, that guy, you know, from a block away, because we all got this cop haircut. So, you know, we're one of the good guys. And the reason for that is because it's just so much more police state, is that you have to blend in, because otherwise, you know, it's detrimental to your, I don't know, future, to your income, to your social status, you know. Okay, so we're coming up on an hour and a half here, you know, and no one's given a donation again today, in case you're wondering. But that's okay. I'm not complaining. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be doing this with you. I'm glad that I, you know, have everything that I have. And you know what we did? You know, we did bathies today. Me and the dogs, we all took a bath. It was crazy in there. Dog hair fucking everywhere. Oh my God. Yep, everybody. All in the tub. It was crazy. There was fucking hair everywhere. Oh my God. That water was so dirty. But we're all clean now. Dogs got their teeth brushed last night, so they're doing pretty good. And all I want to do is grow a little bit of weed to share with my good friends here at Mox News. Won't you please help? You know, I don't come out here and say, if you don't give me money, this dog is going to die. We're going to put, if you don't give me money, this dog right here, he is going to go home. He's going to go hungry. He's going to have to live in the cold, out in the snow, with a chain around his neck. No one cares. The poor doggy. Man, you know what? When South Park was putting those commercials on, not South Park, but Comedy Central was putting those commercials on during South Park, that's why people stopped watching South Park. Because they're like, you know what? I'm trying to laugh here, and you're bumming me out, man. But I'm telling you, if you did not see the last 2 seasons of South Park, you are truly missing out. In the last season of South Park, not to be a spoiler, but you know how the kids are 4th graders, right? They go to school at the elementary school. Every time they would go to the elementary school, there would be a school shooting. It was hilarious. And also in last season, Man Bear Pig came back, and Al Gore, and that was fucking awesome. That was a 2-parter. That was a 2-part episode. Freaking awesome. So if you haven't seen it, you're missing out. And this season, instead of going down to South Park, it's going down to Tegrity Farms because that's where the show is kind of based out of now. Tegrity Farms, not South Park anymore. Going down to Tegrity Farms, gonna have a bowl of weed. So you're missing out if you're not watching it. That's all I'm saying on the brilliance of the modern day prophets that are Matt Stone and Trey Parker. Okay? End of story. Enough said. And no one's donating. No one, nothing, zero, zilch, nada. How can you be so cruel? I just want a little bit of dirt. Is that too much to ask for? A little bit of dirt? Really? Oh my God. I'm getting hungry, you guys. Integrity. Those guys are so fucking brilliant. I am so glad that they have been, you know the episode Critter Christmas, right? Where they teach the baby lion cubs how to make abortions. That always makes me cry. I always get a tear in my eye. And it's because I am just so happy, so fulfilled that I get to watch such incredible, amazing writing. Oh, they really touch me. That makes so much sense, Patrick. I never thought of that. Tinctures are good for colds. Oh my God. Now I want to do tinctures more than ever. I got to go see if we got a bottle of Everclear. I thought I saw a bottle of Everclear around here somewhere. I'm going to go see if I can find it. It probably got drunk. It probably got scooped up by one of the drunkies. Mr. Hanky got banished. Didn't see that? You didn't see Mr. Hanky get banished? It was epic. He got banished because he was taking Ambien at night, and then he was tweeting obscene things about women and people in the community. He went too far. So they told him to get out. Okay, so I'm getting hungry, you guys. You know what that means. We need a caller. Caller's 805-669-6397. That is 805-669-6397. And I could use a donation. That would be really nice. If you could be so kind and be so generous. and I'm not complaining. I'm really not. I'm very lucky. There's so many people that are so nice that have helped so much. I probably one of the luckiest guys there's ever been. It bugs me so much, that when you see people, and it's like when someone's getting a lot of donations, it's like a feeding frenzy. It's like if I was getting a bunch of donations, people wouldn't want to be part of that. But when no one's giving donations, and this is why I keep saying, when I say Mox News survives solely on donations from good people like you, I mean you. If you don't give back, no one does. And I don't get it. I don't know why, the Young Turks come out and do a fucking fundraising drive. They make you watch commercials. They make millions of dollars off commercials, and then they need to do a fundraising drive. How does that figure? Hello, caller. I know you're there. I can't hear you if you're talking. Hello? Okay, thanks for calling. Okay, so, and then that happened. Anyways, I'm just saying, I'm just asking for a little bit of dirt. Is that really so much to ask for? I'm here day in, day out, giving my all, sharing my life with you, trying to make the world a better place, trying to bring us all together, Republicans and Democrats, libtards and conservatoires. Got it. Anyways, I hope you guys are looking forward to a nice weekend. I am looking forward to a burrito when I get done here on camera. Hello, caller.
Hi, Max. This is Chris in Olympia. How are you doing?
I am doing good, Chris. Thank you so much for your generous donation the other night.
No, you're welcome. I heard your pleas for phone calls and thought I would oblige.
I'm not really pleading for phone calls. I'm not really pleading for anything. I'm just kind of saying blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. So there were a couple of things that I wanted to note before we started talking. First, Abby Martin, who was referenced earlier, she still has a YouTube channel called Empire Files, and I think the last video was posted a month ago. It's an interview with Richard Wolff, who's an economist, right? And they talk about socialism. So she still is making videos. I don't know how frequently she posts, and also there's a website called empirefiles.tv or something where you can go directly to her site and find her material.
Right on.
She still is making material, right?
I'm glad to hear that. I'm really, really glad to hear that, because I looked around for a while back and I couldn't find her anywhere, and it bothered me that she kind of slipped off the radar, because I thought she was pretty great.
Another person who is doing a lot of writing and thinking is also Aaron Mate, right? And he's the journalist who exposed Russiagate as being a farce. And he wrote a lot this summer about how, post-Muellergate, there actually was no evidence of Russian interference in American elections in 2016. He just goes through all the arguments and dismisses them. And actually he won an award called the Izzy Award, which is given to independent journalists every year for his work on Russiagate, dispelling the myth of Russiagate, which kind of relates to your subject today, right? Russiagate?
Yeah.
because of the comment that Hillary Clinton made about Tulsi Gabbard and Jill Stein being like Boris and Natasha or something like that.
Yeah, that's so crazy, dude. I mean, how fucking far gone do you have to be to say shit like that?
I don't know. I mean, slander laws. I mean, I don't know. That's a pretty crazy thing to say without evidence, and in this kind of climate that we live in, right? Political climate. And it's pretty amazing how many people bought it or would buy it, right?
It's so strange the way people seem just willing to eat up stuff that they don't know anything about, apparently.
So a lot of people like focused on the the eloquent rebuttal by Tulsi Gabbard when she gave her response. But I wanted to read something really quick. This is from Jill Stein. That she posted on her Twitter account, and she said this. She said, Hillary Clinton's rant is Exhibit A for how the establishment is using the new Cold War to crack down on dissent and feed the war machine. Instead of addressing the crisis working people face, they're painting progressives as the enemy. It's as if they're trying to lose to Trump again. That's what she said. And it's interesting because that is exactly what is happening. It's a war on people who have different opinions. So if, for example, you believe or I believe that bringing troops home from Syria is beneficial, that we should decrease our footprint around the world, that's a good thing, then we're considered crazy and completely illegitimate. And the proof is that Hillary Clinton says that we work for Russia.
Right.
And don't vote for a Green Party candidate because you're probably voting for a Russian stooge.
These people are just they hate our freedom, dude. But I'm really so glad that Hillary is picking on Tulsi because the media has done everything they possibly can to keep her out of the spotlight. They love to talk about how she's a Assad apologist, but 2 weeks ago, Donald Trump pulls the troops out of fucking Syria, and not once do they want to ask this presidential candidate what she thinks about that. They want to ask everybody else about it except for her.
Well, peace is an unpopular subject in the Democratic primary race. Just doesn't seem to be popular amongst the candidates or amongst the Democratic voting population. Doesn't seem to be a big issue.
I think they don't think much about war. I don't know. I mean,
So what I understand, Mike, is Tulsi Gabbard has said publicly this summer in August, I think. She said she will not run as an independent.
I heard her say that like in the last month.
Now, that doesn't mean that she'll full-throatedly endorse the candidate, Elizabeth Warren or Joe Biden or whoever the candidate is, Bernie Sanders.
Sure.
Doesn't mean that.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, she's not going to give up her congressional seat in Hawaii, and she's going to continue to be a Democrat.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I'm predicting the future, because I heard we talked the other day, right, about polling and about predicting things, and just earlier you said it's really difficult to predict things in the future. But just if that is to happen, hypothetically, right, she doesn't get the nomination.
Sure, that's not, yes, which is not very likely.
So that being the case, I really think people should seriously think about third-party candidates like now, before that even happens. And that is also a way to put pressure on the Democratic candidate. When you can literally go to the Democratic candidate and say, this particular candidate who has already announced their intention to run for president, I'm going to support that person unless you drastically change your positions.
Well,
yeah, there is such a person right now. It is apparently Howie Hawkins. He ran for governor of New York, I believe, twice. He also ran against Hillary Clinton in 2006 in her Senate campaign. So he was the Green Party candidate in New York who ran against Clinton in 2006. during the Iraq War. He didn't go to war misguided and come back, oh, I made a mistake. He opposed the war from the very beginning. And get this, Mox, he's a Vietnam veteran. He's a Marine.
Huh.
Yeah. If you go to his website, you can go to ontheissues.org, Howie Hawkins. Oh, here's another thing. In addition to bringing all the troops home from around all over the world, he wanted to repeal NAFTA and CAFTA, lift the embargo on Cuba, opposes all military intervention for regime change.
Does he have a party affiliation?
He's going to be running for the Green Party candidacy. He's a candidate running in the Green Party to try and be their nominee.
Cool.
And I'm just saying that, like, this person is not getting any media attention from any television network at all, and will not get, his name will not even be mentioned until like next September.
Yeah.
And they'll do like a little expose and they'll say, but there is a Green Party candidate running. And then they'll show him smiling in front of a shop and they'll say, hi, I'm Howie. And they'll go, Howie's the Green Party candidate. And it'll all be like condescending and they won't take him very seriously.
Yeah. No,
which is why it's so critical to get his name and the idea in the public's mind that they don't have to vote for a Democrat or a Republican. And if their candidate in the primary, whether it be Tulsi Gabbard or Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren, whatever, if their candidate isn't the candidate, they're not obliged to vote for the Democrat or the Republican.
I agree. I don't think that anybody is obliged to vote for anyone at all. I think that, and that's what I keep saying about the whole labels thing. You know, is a big mistake to identify
it
as.
Certainly seems like Hillary Clinton was very afraid of that, right? In her statement, like targeting the third party and targeting like a dissident candidate, a perfect candidate, targeting those people.
I think you're spot on with that. I really do.
And so those were that was Jill Stein's response, and just a reality check that there are like other people who are going to be running for president. They're not going to be Democrats or Republicans. Howie Hawkins is one of them, and I'd encourage people to at least look at his thoughts, right? But then there was one other thing I wanted to talk about tonight, and that was an article that I read in The Stranger. Did you ever pick that up, or look at it at the coffee shop?
I used to look at it when I hung out in the coffee shops. I haven't been there for quite a while, so.
Yeah. Well, the article was posted this afternoon, or it was the 15th it was posted. And what it says is Amazon spends more than $1 million in an effort to buy the Seattle City Council. And this is the quote from the beginning. It says, in an email on Tuesday morning, Amazon announced that the company will drop over $1 million into the Seattle City Council races. The massive contribution will go to the Civic Alliance for a Sound Economy, which is a PAC run by the Seattle Chamber of Commerce. With a total of $1.5 million in contributions, Amazon is now the biggest player in the city elections by far. The single donation is the largest amount of money spent, larger than all the combined independent expenditures in the 2015 council race, where all the independent candidates spent $780,000 collectively. It's also more than the PAC money spent in the entire race in 2017, which was less than $1 million. And in one day, one contribution, they topped all of that. And the article says the most pragmatic solution to these problems is taxing big companies like Amazon, companies who routinely dodge taxes to pay for transportation upgrades, public housing, and Seattle's new Green Deal. But of course, Amazon doesn't want this to happen. And so far in Seattle, at least, they're used to getting exactly what they want. So even if we go through this political process, again, in a relatively progressive city, like in Seattle, the people who own the businesses buy the council, kind of preventing us from having our voice on the council. It's an old story, but it was an interesting story in The Stranger today.
Well, I think this is why I keep talking about us having to come together, and then we have to do like a sit-down strike. Because if we do a 5-day sit-down strike where nobody buys anything off of fucking Amazon, Amazon will feel that pinch real fast.
Well, The sad thing about this article that really bothered me, it wasn't the article necessarily, which was interesting, and I agreed with it, but it was the comments in the Stranger following the article, and a lot of the people in the comments who live in Seattle and could be stereotyped as people who live in Seattle were very much apologetic and sympathetic to Amazon's ability to control the city council. And
Amazon probably has people that they pay to do that, to go out into comments and do that shit, though,
They probably do.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of gentrification that's going on in that city.
Amazonia.
And
we're down
Amazonia.
We went down and ate in Amazonia the other day.
What did it look like?
It's a bunch of new buildings. It all looks the same. It's not. It just looks like any old strip mall, with all your little chain stuff in it. And I don't know. It looks like Seattle's beautiful. It's right down by the lake, and it's actually kind of a nice neighborhood, although it's at the same time it's downtown, and there's people ODing everywhere and shit. So.
Right. So are indigent people or poor people kept away from Amazonia?
Not really. They're everywhere. I mean, I don't think that they're building homeless camps. I don't think they're setting up tents on the sidewalks down in Amazonia, but which they are most everywhere else in downtown Seattle. But maybe they don't want to. It's further away from, stores and grocery stores and shit like that. So I don't know.
So if the democratic process is subverted, like at every level, local level, at the national level, with like the duopoly, states are basically, they're either blue or they're red, but they're controlled by one political party. Basically. Yeah. So there really isn't a lot of room for voices outside of like corporate America's voice, and it's kind of that's discouraging,
Well, it seems like there's a little bit of room, when you see people like Tulsi Gabbard. I don't know. Do you think Andrew Yang is a corporate America voice?
I do. I'm not a supporter of. I'm not a libertarian, so I don't support Andrew Yang. I think that the universal basic income isn't a bad idea, but what it was going to cause is it's just going to cause inflation. I think. So I think it would work if you put caps on prices. So if you put caps on prices and you said a gallon of milk is going to cost $2.50 and it's going to stay about at that price.
Yeah.
Then give people $1,000, then their $1,000 will have value. But if the price of milk goes, say, from $2.50 to $4, it's going to the UBI is just going to be given to wealthy people who sell things.
Right.
They'll just increase prices to take the money.
I hear you too. I don't see how they do it without it causing tremendous inflation. I don't know about out of control inflation, but it does seem like it would have an immediate inflation.
It is really raining outside.
Cool. I love it when that happens.
I think Cuba might have the answer. I think housing is free in Cuba. I think medicine is free in Cuba. I think they have good schools in Cuba. And I think that everybody in Cuba owns everything. I think they have a life expectancy that's a little bit about the same as ours, maybe a little bit longer. But I imagine the quality of their life is a little better in terms of their human interactions with other people.
It seems like a nice place to be. It seems like a mostly really friendly place, from what I see.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was reading a little bit about their mental health care system in Cuba and how it differs from the United States, because I was reading this other article earlier about mental health care in like Los Angeles and the problems that people have just accessing mental health services. And compared that with Cuba, and you see differences right away because they have free medicine. So they have doctors that they have had relations with their entire life. There's no break with like medical care.
Yeah.
And since mental health is part of their health care that they receive, people can be diagnosed earlier and they can find different treatments, before it becomes a crisis.
Right.
Also, people don't lose their housing in Cuba,
Yeah.
right? So therefore, even if you have a mental illness and you can receive medical care, you're not going to be preyed upon by everybody in society as you don't have a place to sleep and you're exposed to the elements. Cuba.
Yeah, no, now that sounds like a very Christian nation. It's so weird. They just love to call this a Christian nation. And the second you bring up healthcare for illegal aliens or anybody else, it's like, instead of what would Jesus do, it's, and who's going to pay for that?
Yeah, that was what they said in that debate, right? And I saw another article today, right here. It says, it's from Common Dreams. It says, Joe Biden's disgraceful new attack on Sanders and Warren. And it's all about that. It's about the money for single-payer Medicare. So basically, Joe Biden is just defending the big health insurance industry and pharma and the insurance industry. Their spokesperson, Joe, lunch bucket Joe.
Yeah, well, he's desperate for money, so there's deep pockets there.
So how are you going to draw a line then, hypothetically, if like Bernie Sanders or Tulsi Gabbard isn't the candidate? Are you going to draw a line, or how are you going to navigate around that?
I don't understand the question, really.
The question?
Yeah, I don't understand what you're asking.
Okay, so if Tulsi Gabbard doesn't become the Democratic candidate, like say in February, she's no longer in the primary,
right?
And it looks like either Joe Biden or Elizabeth Warren is going to be the candidate. How are you going to react to that in terms of like, are you just not going to support a Democrat in 2020?
No, of course not. I can. There's no way I can support Joe Biden. I could support. I don't think I could support Elizabeth. I could support Elizabeth Warren. If I had to choose between Elizabeth Warren and Donald Trump, I could choose Elizabeth Warren. If I had to choose between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, I could choose. I couldn't choose either one of them. It's just I couldn't do it. But I don't trust Elizabeth Warren. I don't think Elizabeth Warren is a good candidate, and I fucking hate Elizabeth Warren's voice. I could not stand to listen to Elizabeth Warren's voice for like 4 years. So I don't see how I could, I probably will just look towards it. I'm just going to cover the election the same way that I always have, just like when I did with Hillary and Trump, which is just find whatever I can that they're talking about and share it as much as I can with everybody else. But, whoever the candidates are, but do my best to find those other voices if there are third-party candidates that I can get out there, and because it's like you're saying, if there's any kind of an option, I want to make that as visible to the public as possible.
Has C-SPAN covered third-party conventions before?
Yeah, I have a libertarian debate on the posted on the conventions.
Yeah.
They have. I'm not sure if I have a libertarian convention posted or not. I think I might. I don't know about Green Party. They have covered the Green Party convention a little bit. It's not like they spend all day doing it or anything like they do with the other conventions, but they'll do a few hours of here's the Green Party.
Well, I hope that some of it seeps into the mainstream media, but I don't expect it. It never happens. Rarely happens. Amy Goodman occasionally has a guest on once or twice in the autumn before the general, but that's it, you know.
Yeah. Well, Amy Goodman's pretty good. I wouldn't call her mainstream media because it's kind of like a stain on Amy Goodman, really. You know, I think she deserves better than that.
Yeah, she probably deserves better than that, but in fact, she only has the Green Party candidates on once or twice in the autumn.
Well, that's
Very
unfortunate.
similar to others.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate for sure. So, everything going okay, Chris?
I'm doing fine. The rain was very relaxing today.
It's nice, huh? I really like the rain too.
And we certainly had a lot of rain today. We had like 8/10 of an inch of rain or something.
Nice. I think there's more headed this way.
Yes.
All right, bro.
Well, that's the state of reality from my perspective. Thank you for your program.
Yeah. Well,
and for
thank you for
listening to some of my concerns.
Thank you for participating in my program. I really appreciate it, and for all your support. Okay, you too, Chris. I hope hope everything's cool where you're at. See you later. All right. So Chris is awesome. Chris just lost his job, and he kicked down $5 the other day. That's what I'm talking about when I'm saying that, you know, I feel very lucky that I'm still here and that I'm supported by people and that people appreciate me, you know. And they're smart people, you know. I mean, pretty much everybody who calls is just, you know, making point after point after point. So, again, as I've always said, it's you guys who add just so much flavor to Mox News. You know, make it so much more interesting. So that's why we're doing the call-in shows. We can sidestep the YouTube censorship. We can just go straight to the source. You're here in this moment. I'm here in this moment. And we're talking about whatever the hell we want to talk about. And there's not a damn thing YouTube can do about it. How you like me now, YouTube? Which I know already. They don't like me very much at all. But this is where we're at. And it is what it is. This is the plan moving forward. We're going to do this live call-in show. We're going to do it every day, Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. The East Coasters want it at 6 p.m. The West Coasters want it at 8 p.m. We're going to split the difference and do it at 7 p.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Okay? No excuses. I'll be here. I expect to see you here too. And if you like that idea, if you see if you see the potential here for what it is that we can be making happen, because I see the potential here to make something really good happen. And, you know, hopefully one of these days, YouTube is going to pull their heads out of their asses and stop fucking around with, whose voice gets to be heard and whose voice doesn't. And they just let the people decide what they want to watch. And then, Mox News will rise again. But until then, I'm so glad you guys are here. I will keep marching. I will keep moving forward. I will keep up the fight, the good fight, every day, fighting for freedom, fighting for awareness, and fighting to help us all move beyond these stupid labels by showing you that both sides are completely fucking worthless and that we need to move beyond all that bullshit and come together and discuss and plan a better future for all of us. Because if we leave it up to these fucks that are in charge, we're going to all be drinking toilet water here soon. Okay? If we're not already. I only drink distilled water. All right. We're at the 2-hour mark. This is the phone number right here. This is the phone number. This is it. 805-669-6397. That's the phone number. It's 805-66. That's what I thought you said. Hello, caller.
Yeah, I just wanted to keep it brief, but don't you find it kind of funny that Tulsi Gabbard's only being put on Russia Today and Fox News? Don't you think that says a lot about who's supporting her and who actually is propping her up?
I think it says a lot. I mean, you know, again, it comes back to this thing where you see people saying she's not a real Democrat. And of course, as I've been saying, it's the Democrats and the Republicans who brought us to this fucked up place that we're at in the world now. So it's good that she's not a Democrat. It's good that she's not a real Democrat, not one of them, not one of us. It's good. That's a good thing. And of course, the media is threatened by that because that means she's outside the box. She's not containable. And the only reason that Fox is having her on is because she is making the other networks look like fucking warmongering, what did she call them? Completely despicable. The New York Times and CNN. She said right to their despicable faces.
Well, I think she's got a lot in common, with a lot of the Democrats on a lot of things. But don't you think that, when people voted for Obama over Hillary, they didn't want a warmonger. That's why we got Obama, and he was a centrist. But, now it's like he's evil because he's not liberal enough.
Well, we voted for Obama because we were tired of war and we knew that Hillary was a war hawk and we were hoping that he was going to be different, which he was not. And that's the real reason that people are disappointed in Obama is because he was such a bad president that an organization had to be formed during his presidency called Black Lives Matter in order for the president to get the message that Black lives actually matter, because he wasn't seeming to get that message. That's who Barack Obama was, and that's why people are so angry at him.
I don't know if I believe that argument, but I will say, he did drop the ball on a lot of things. I didn't want him to do drone strikes, but if you had the two options, do you really think Mitt Romney would have killed less people with war?
Again, it's just it boils down to giant douche or turd sandwich, and it's understandable why anyone would pick giant douche, because nobody wants a turd sandwich, right?
Well, I mean, some people eat cat poop coffee, but that's not my personal preference.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying they're the same, though, dude. What I keep saying is, which party is it that fights for freedom? Okay, which party is it that you see fighting for freedom? Because that's the party. That's the party that I support. Okay.
Well, who do you support now? Because Tulsi is a Democrat.
But I just told you they keep saying she's not a real Democrat.
But
right?
She is a Democrat.
Just like they used to say, Ron Paul is not a real Republican. You remember that?
Well, yeah, I don't think that's true, though. She's clearly a registered Democrat. She's just more of a centrist, libertarian-style Democrat.
You have to be a Democrat or Republican in order to get elected in this country. That's just the fact.
That's because most of the people agree with the person. Like, most of the people agreed with Hillary in the Democratic Party, which was much to our dismay. Like, we wouldn't have Trump if they didn't choose Hillary.
Most of the people did not agree with Hillary, and that's the reason why. That's the reason why all the Bernie supporters, Bernie had as much support or more than Hillary. Okay, and the media did exactly the same thing to Bernie that they're doing to Tulsi now. They said Bernie's not a Democrat; he's an independent socialist. That's not the democratic values.
He himself has said he's not a capitalist, though, which does make him not a Democrat. So like on the just the basis of facts, when he says I'm a communist or a socialist and not a capitalist, that purely puts him against the Democratic Party, which he is not purely a Democrat. I still think he would have won if he was chosen. But the real issue there is that Hillary did win the popular vote. It's just that she was such a shitty candidate in the middle of the U.S. She only won the coast, and didn't even win Florida, for fuck's sake.
Hillary only won because of superdelegates. That's the reason she became the nominee. And because of the bullshit games that the DNC played with the debates, and because of the bullshit games that the media played with Bernie Sanders. They acted like he was a crazy old man. And that it was Hillary's turn and that he needed to just get the fuck out of the way.
Well, I think here's a question for you. Do you think if Joe Biden ran in 2016, that if it was Biden versus Hillary versus Sanders, that it would have been Biden that would have come out on top and we wouldn't have been stuck with Trump?
I think he would have had 1,000 times better chance of getting I think he would have had a way better chance of getting the nomination, and also that he probably would have brought more people out, and there was not a need for a whole lot more people to come out. Because Hillary is one of the most despised figures in American political history.
Yeah, I hate her. I don't like her. My dad's from the Middle East, and I didn't vote for her because I lived in California. I voted for Johnson, so that I didn't want to vote for anybody who would bomb my cousins.
Yeah, people do not like her, and for good reason, and so. And that's how Bernie got so much support. And that's why Donald Trump won. Because Hillary was like the worst possible candidate the Democrats could have put forward. And the Democratic elite, with their super delegates, rammed, and with the media, with the help of the media and the DNC, rammed Hillary down the voters' throats, refusing to listen to the voters' voices when they're saying Bernie is 1,000 times better candidate. They refused to hear what their voters were saying, and they're doing the same thing again.
Well, what do you think about Elizabeth Warren then? Because she's definitely not like Hillary, and she's more like Bernie, but I'm kind of worried about Bernie's health,
I think that Elizabeth Warren is actually a Republican who finds that, again, as I keep saying, the difference between the Republicans and the Democrats is that they're just preaching to different suckers, right? The Republicans are talking to these suckers and the Democrats are talking to these suckers. That's the only difference between them. Now, Elizabeth Warren is really a Republican. She grew up being a Republican. In her young adulthood, she was a Republican. She now, but as she becomes a politician, she finds that she's going to have a much better chance of being a successful politician as a female Democrat, right? Productive rights and all that. I'm a strong woman standing up for, what I'm saying? You can't do that so much in the Republicans. You kind of got to be not quite so. So anyways, they're not drawn to strong, women. So that what I'm saying, it works better for her to be a Democrat, but she's really on the inside, deep down, a Republican.
Well, I don't know how you can feel that way about her, but you don't feel that Gabbard could possibly be a Republican.
Gabbard is not any of that shit. See, this is the problem with the two-party system, is you got to paint them into this fucking box. Okay, it doesn't work. Okay, she's an island girl. She surfs. She's a martial artist. She's a fucking veteran, a medic. She volunteered to go to Iraq as a medic at the height of combat. She spent a fucking entire tour there knee deep in fucking blood. Okay?
But a couple of negatives.
Does that sound like a Republican to you?
Close with Modi. She's always kissing up to Modi, and Modi is not a good person. Neither is Bashar al-Assad, although you know, we shouldn't be overthrowing Assad at all. But to support him and say he's not doing anything wrong when he's clearly, you know, committing war crimes was kind of messed up. So there's some serious negatives to her.
A lot of people question the evidence of, you know, the chlorine, the chemical attacks and stuff, saying that those were coming from ISIS. And that's why she went to Syria, was to find out more, to actually get a view of what was happening on the ground. Okay, she's not a supporter of Assad. She said, we don't belong there. What we're doing in Syria is making it worse, and the Pentagon is lying about the whole thing. That's what she said when she got back from Syria.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess I don't have much more of that. I don't want to keep all of your time. You got other people probably calling, but well, we could agree to disagree on that, probably.
If you say so. I mean, this is why the media hates her, because they try and bring up this shit with Assad, and then she fucking destroys them on it, because she was there to find evidence, because we'd already been lied into a war in Iraq by the Pentagon, by the White House, and now they're trying to do this in Syria, and she's like, okay, let's go see if we actually belong there in Syria. And she said she went to all of her congressional peers in Congress and said, I'm going to go to Syria to find out what's actually happening, because I know we can't trust the Pentagon. And and all of her peers said, don't go. And she said, well, I'm going, and if any of you guys want to come with us, and no one would go. She had to go get Dennis Kucinich to go with her.
She went with John McCain.
No, she did not. She went with Dennis Kucinich.
Oh, okay. John McCain went separately.
John McCain went way before her with pallets of $100 bills that he gave directly to ISIS.
Yeah, that's not a good look.
No.
Sorry. Okay, I just let someone else call in, though. Have a good night, dude.
Hey, thanks for calling, man. Sorry, I don't mean to be so heated about this shit. It just, you know, you hear this stuff and you go, this is not true. How did this get into your brain? And it makes you feel like sad that there's so many people that have that kind of garbage in their brain. Oh, well, she supports Assad. That's fucking ridiculous. Okay? Anyways, so hopefully we've all learned something tonight. Remember how South Park used to always end their episodes that way? And what did we learn this evening? That's what I love about them, is they're always explaining stuff that's, you know, I so love that, you know, not this week, but last week they said, fuck China. I just love that they said, fuck China on their fucking show, you know, and Comedy Central let them say it. That was pretty bold to Comedy Central too, actually. So anyways, that's where I'm at. I say, fuck China. I don't mean it. I love my Chinese brothers and sisters. But fuck the Chinese government. Fuck the U.S. government. Fuck the Israeli government. Fuck the Assad government. Fuck the Saudi Arabian government. Fuck the Russian government. Fuck them all straight to hell. We deserve better. That's all I'm saying. Okay? We all deserve better. That's the facts. Hello, caller. How are you tonight?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good.
So, I find it really hilarious how Hillary Clinton could have that Uranium One deal with Russia and then call Tulsi Gabbard a Russian agent. Like, it blows my mind.
It just came out of left field, too. I mean, not that I haven't seen, you know, other people fucking dissing on Tulsi, but man, I'm so glad it happened. I really am so glad it happened. Go ahead.
I think Hillary Clinton is just scared that Tulsi's going to be the first woman president and that she won't be.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. She's so jealous that fucking she actually has a chance to be president and Hillary never will.
I mean, Hillary Clinton shouldn't be allowed to serve in public office. She's killed like 37 people. I'm not saying like all of them were done by her hands, but the Clinton hit list is not something that it should be looked away from. It should be looked into.
I agree. I think that the Clintons are so dirty. I want to know everything that they had to do with Epstein. I want to know, I want to know. I want Epstein in the fucking news every goddamn day. I don't know why Epstein is not in the news every fucking day still. There's plenty fucking dirt to find out, and just a bunch of bullshit that they just want to talk about. Garbage. Go ahead.
And the Seth Rich thing, I don't know if you know about Seth Rich. How my theory with Seth Rich and a lot of people's theory is that he's the one that sent WikiLeaks the information on the Dustin Clinton emails, which they in turn blamed on Russia, which is the most ludicrous thing. Like,
right?
It's like, I don't understand. Like, the only reason people believe it is because they're being brainwashed by every night they're seeing this on the news. Russia, Russia, Russia. When it's so intellectually dishonest for these people to be doing it. When Rachel Maddow went to Columbia or wherever she went to like sit there and peddle conspiracy theories on national television.
But that's her job, dude. That's what she does. I mean, disinformation, propaganda. That's why she's there. That's why she makes the big bucks.
No, you're right. You're right. I don't have I couldn't say it with a straight face. So like,
yeah.
I guess all hats off to her. They're just insane.
It's the world's gone kind of crazy, and and this is why people hate the media. This is why they want to call it fake news, but that's a mistake. It's not fake news. It's agenda-driven propaganda that comes straight out of the Pentagon, and it's a CIA operation mindfuck meant to, screw us all. And so to call it fake news is to equate it to Jon Stewart, because Jon Stewart used to always call himself fake news. And I think that's a huge mistake because, war propaganda.
It's misinformation more than, I think it's misinformation more than fake news.
Yeah.
It's not it's like very spun. It's very dishonest. And like, even the framing of questions on debate stages, like, it's disgusting.
Yeah, I agree. Go ahead.
And the fact that Bernie Sanders won't even back Tulsi Gabbard on this, I know that he's technically running against her, but I see a lot of those people up there looking for cabinet positions, not necessarily looking for presidential positions.
Huh, that's very interesting. I bet you're probably correct about that.
Yeah, I see like Kamala Harris looking for attorney general. I see Cory Booker looking. I see Julian Castro trying to be HUD secretary again.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, those people aren't looking to be president because they're so, like, even, like, I would say even Tulsi is looking to be Secretary of State or Secretary of Defense, but I would say that her campaign is more presidential than any of the other ones.
Well, she's not looking to be Secretary of Defense by going on and on about we have to bring all our troops home. I mean, that's really...
Yeah, I guess that's more Secretary of State in the sense of diplomacy and, like, diplomatic solutions. I don't know if you've ever watched the show Madam Secretary. It's like...
no, I haven't seen that.
It's on ABC, I'm pretty sure.
Huh.
And it shows what a Secretary of State should be doing with like a backbone. The main character is a female. For me, it looks like the ABC was trying to portray Hillary Clinton in a good light when they made it.
Interesting.
But she did
I think I know the show you're talking about. I think I've seen commercials for it before.
It's actually a very good show.
Huh.
Well, like it shows what like a Secretary of State should be, not what they actually are.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. The ideal Secretary of State.
Yeah, and I feel like Tulsi has one of the is more. I don't. It is just her domestic policy. I would like to see a little bit more in.
Yeah.
I have a background in economics. I would like to see her economic policy. I would like to see her domestic policy. If her and Yang were on a ticket together, I think that would be the winning argument.
I think that would be such a fucking kick-ass ticket, dude. I think they would stomp Donald Trump and Mike Pence.
Oh, she is the only person that can beat Donald Trump, and I've gone over this plenty of times because there's a nickname for every single one of them on that stage except for Tulsi.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I keep saying. He cannot do that to her. He can't somehow try and pin some little fucking, oh, she's this, and it's gonna fucking stick to her. It's not gonna work on her. She's been in the shit, man, and she marched through it, and she came through it, and she's here now, and she's ready to take your motherfucking ass on.
Yeah, and like she has the credibility because she defended the Mueller investigation in the sense that like she didn't like demonize Trump or heart Trump. She was just looking for the answers.
Yeah.
Which that was a sham in my opinion. I don't know. I don't have all the facts on it, but like why would they're like in the sense of like Trump being a foreign asset to Russia, that seems a bit outlandish.
Well, you know, I mean, he's I don't know. I mean, they talk about him wanting to build, you know, stuff in Moscow, and he offered the penthouse to Putin and all that, you know, and they talked about video and stuff like that of him and you know, Russia.
I don't defend him. I just want the intellectual honesty about it.
Well, I want to talk about the facts. You're right. I want to talk about what is real and what is not real. And if you have an actual tape, then let us all look at it instead of talking about what you think is on the tape. And you know, and I mean, it's like you're saying. I want it to be real and not some made up. Oh well, you know, I think they're grooming one of the Democratic presidential candidates. Russia's grooming them to be a Manchurian candidate. You know, that's such a fucking. I mean, what fucking world do you live in, lady?
She lives in her own world where she can get away with murder.
Yeah, that's true.
And like where everyone surrounding her has been a yes man from 1992 and on.
I'm sure of that.
And it just seems like a complete like joke that she was Secretary of State. Like you think she would have known? They propped her up as DNC as head. She was vice chair of the DNC until she quit in 2016 because she knew the primary was being rigged.
They wanted her to take over the DNC in 2016 because Debbie Wasserman Schultz was disgraced at that point because of her fucking messing with the election and the debates and everything and fucking screwing Bernie Sanders. And she said, "No, what? You guys are full of shit. I don't want anything to do with this." And she stepped down as the vice chair, and they wanted her to take over the whole show.
And she just wouldn't do it, and that's why they're mad at her.
That's why they're saying she's not a real Democrat.
Yep.
That and the fact she's not a real Democrat. So. Or she's not like the rest of them anyways.
Yeah, the Democratic standard has gone so far down since even Barack Obama was there. Like, say what you want to about like the Republicans, but like they went after Obama for like some corruption, like there was things that were a little outlandish. But they just want to take everything he says and make a big hysterical scene out of it, and it's not productive anyway. But like, I think Tulsi is the only one who has shot against Trump, and I think that she's the only one who can coherently break down his argument or like coherently fight him, because Elizabeth Warren will just throw her hands in the air and pretend that like Trump's like just call him like racist, sexist, bigoted, homophobe.
Yeah.
And it's like that doesn't work.
Yeah, no, it won't work. Not against what he does. And he's already made her into the punchline of one of his jokes, and she really has lost so much credibility in my own opinion. You know, just with this whole, you know, all the bullshit she went through with him and the whole ethnic deal, and Tulsi's gonna do to Trump exactly what she did to Kamala Harris. She fucking rubbed Kamala Harris' face in the fucking ground, man. And
She was about to do it to Elizabeth Warren too. She was about to, and they cut her off.
Yeah, I agree. If it's her standing on the stage with whoever else, whether it be Elizabeth Warren or Donald Trump, she's gonna destroy them, dude. There's going to be nothing left to vote for when she's done.
I'm gonna let you get going because I'll let another person come on.
Thanks so much for calling.
Yep.
All right. Hope we hear from you again soon. All right, so stay cool. This was very fun tonight, right? We've had a nice evening for a Friday evening. I thought we've had a very kind of active response to everything. And you guys are so fucking cool. I mean, really, you know, we don't see eye to eye. Even we don't see eye to eye. We're able to come together and to kind of reach a fucking similar conclusion almost always. So anyways, I really enjoy doing this. I'm glad that we're doing this, even though no one donated tonight in 2.5 hours time, not a single donation. Which is fine. You know, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad we're doing this. We'll keep doing it. Hopefully it will get bigger and bigger and stronger. We'll have more calls, more important discussions, and I'm looking forward to that a whole lot. So Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific, same Mox News time, same Mox News channel. Are you ready? Oh. Hello, caller. Hello, caller.
Oops, your caller just hung up.
That caller just hung up. All right, are you ready, Wilco? And then she starts going like a motorboat. Fuck me, Alex. Fuck me, Alex. I just watched Up in the Smoke the other night. So fucking fun. I love that scene. So hilarious. I didn't know your name was Alex, dude. What? You're donating? For real? Wilco, you wouldn't kid me about something like that, would you? You're the man, Wilco. All right. Oh, fuck me, Alex. I love that movie. Okay, so let's see. What do we got here? It's that time, boys and girls, once again, to say goodnight. So it's so nice that you tuned in to join us. And it's always nicer when you're here. And I'm looking forward so much to seeing you again next week on Monday. Look at that. Wilco, you are so the man, dude. You are so the man. See? And that's the thing. You kick down $5, right? Because he's a fucking great guy. You kick down $5, and then I didn't do all this and not get anything out of it. I didn't get any not encouragement. I didn't get anybody saying, great show, Mike, keep up the good work. I got somebody. And Wilco donated last week too. So Wilco, you the man, and I really appreciate it. And thanks so much. And $5 makes that big a difference. Then makes this so much big a difference that it's either your $5 just meant that I got a donation, as opposed to going all day long, working, being here day after day after day after day, going all day long and not getting a donation, or actually getting a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of someone giving back, a little bit of someone patting me on the back and saying, good job, Mike. Okay, that's how big a difference that $5 makes to me. So we're clear. I just want you to know. Okay, so you the man, Wilco. Thanks so much, bro. All right, so we'll do this again Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific. We'll see you next Monday. Okay, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's always nicer when you're here. Stay cool. One of these days, this war is going to end. Till that day.